If you'd like to sponsor Still Got Game, give us a call at 773-527-2961 or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now! Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 439. Still Got Game is the official podcast of tooltoplay.com. I am, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
And it's just the two of us tonight, Selden.
Just two!
Everybody else, they just couldn't handle it. They couldn't handle the truth. But we're here, doing a show, doing the Lord's work. You know, all the things they say about putting out an episode of Still Got Game.
This is what people want. They want this.
Yeah, this is what they're looking for. I think. I hope. But it's good to have you here, Selden, and we got another show, and we're going to make sure we don't miss shows now. So we're always going to have a show, and even if it means it's just fucking me doing a show. So
Wow.
it is what it is. So, but yeah. So why don't we just hop right in the show proper and get into the mailbag for feedback and questions from last week's show. And remember, you guys out there, if you want to leave us a voicemail, it will cut you off after a minute. Source code comments. 2 weeks in a row, I've now watched your video on Facebook Live. I'm not usually remembering when things are live and all, so it's nice that FB Facebook notifies me. I'm looking forward to joining you all again next week. I don't know if source code is here yet or not. That's the other tricky thing I noticed about Facebook Live is when you watch the video, no matter when you started, it makes it feel like you're live because you're getting like the comments and everything are showing up as if you're there at the same time, but you might be, you might not be, and
Yeah, I've actually fallen prey to that a few times. I've been watching a video that I thought was live, and I'm making comments, and I'm like, yeah, you know what? I just made about 5 or 6 comments, and they're not replying. Oh, maybe that's because it's not really live.
Yep. So that part is tricky, but if you are here on Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern, we are live, and we'll see your stuff pop up like we did for that guy in chat right now, Michael Scott, who's been commenting. So yeah.
Even if you leave comments after, like you're watching the show, leave comments. We'll see those comments as they pop up because we'll get alerts on that. So
yeah,
go ahead and keep leaving comments on the replay videos. So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, we will see everything. It's just if you want to interact live, it's Monday nights at 8 p.m. Eastern. So, but yeah, thanks for joining us again. Then source code R and a lot of underscores D comments. Cool show, gentlemen. I'm a brand new viewer and only discovered you this week. I had a lot of fun and set it to notify me when you are live.
nice.
I gave him kind of a douchey voice because his name has like a million underscores in it and seemed kind of like a douchey name. But no offense, but I'm glad that you're. I already shit on this guy. He just said we had a cool show, and he's. I didn't mean to say that. It's just explain your name. Like, why does that be so weird?
I was thinking it was like there was a blank there, like he used to have a name, but he had to edit out the middle part.
Oh, like he had to redact what his original name was?
Redacted what his name. Maybe it's redacted. Hey, there we go.
Ah, yes. No, if it is, then that's pretty creative. But I feel like there was more underscores in this name than would spell redacted. But yeah, that would be pretty cool. But yeah.
Welcome aboard, R underscores D.
Yep. Yeah. So thanks for joining. All right. Pixel Brass comments. I have to admit, I thought the show was going to suck on Facebook and was pretty nervous, but the first episodes have been fairly solid. Will it completely convert me from podcast listener to viewer? Only time will tell. All right. So Pixel Brass, obviously someone coming to us from the audio world. Watch the last couple episodes in the video world, and we'll see what happens. I'd be happy either way.
We're never gonna suck, no matter where we're at. How about that?
Oh, so that's yeah. Selden, you tell him. You tell him. Fighting words. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go get him. Oh yes. All right. And last, but certainly not least, Altius asks. I know you have talked over the past several weeks as to how Xbox and PlayStation are catering to different audiences this console generation. In your own words, how would you describe their target audiences, since I have heard them described so many different ways online? Oh, this is a loaded question, Altius. You want to go first, Eldon? You want me to go first?
Um, I think let's take Nintendo first. Nintendo is your mobile casual gamer. They're
Absolutely casual, or someone that needs first-party Nintendo games.
yeah. So
Yeah.
it's I think that's easy. We know where their market is. They're
Yep.
aimed at mostly children.
Yep.
Um, they've gotten away from the older crowd, which they got with the original
The nostalgia games.
nostalgia Wii when they had the Wii Sports, bowling,
Yep.
things
Yep.
like that. So they got away from that elder generation, but I think they're still focusing more on, especially with the Switch, the mobile generation, where
Mhm.
they're looking to capture those people that the kids, the young teens, the mid teens, the early 20s that are on the go that want to take their stuff with them, and aren't looking to get deep into a type of game that's going to lock them in for hours sitting there. So
Yeah.
I think that's the easy one for Nintendo.
Mm,
Xbox,
I, I, I'm gonna go
uh,
your core gamer, your and that word comes with its own intonations and positives and negatives, but I think you're all around gamer, someone that enjoys gaming and wants the the widest breadth of games, and they still like exclusives, but they don't necessarily, they're not slave to them. I I don't know what
yeah.
word I would call that though.
I also look at Xbox gamers as the more first person shooter oriented player, the
Yeah.
more competitive player, the ones that are playing a competitive type of game. You're going to find more of them on Xbox.
Yeah.
Because I think the environment lends to it. I think that the game style that they've put forward, I think that lends towards the first person shooter competitive marketplace. The PlayStation, I look at as the individuals that want to play the movie games.
And the
They want to play games,
RPGs
the
and the
RPGs, the basically a narrative movie being played that you're able to control parts of it type. So that's kind of where I see them. So
yeah, I also see their fan base in general seems to really dig exclusives a lot, like a lot, and um, and they're very vocal, and
they got a great troll army. I mean,
yes,
I'll
yeah,
give them that, man. They'll
yeah,
troll anything and everything every chance they
yeah,
get. So they're definitely dedicated. I mean, the
yeah.
PlayStation fans are dedicated. They're like Michigan fans that they just don't know any better.
Oh, see, that reference was like because I have a real NFL team, so I didn't understand, but I'll take your word for it that that's how that works. But yeah, I think we're trying not to offend anyone, but I think it is what all the news stories have said, Althea. It's Xbox right now is all about choice and a breadth of games. You get fucking Game Pass, you get over 100 games, lots of shooters, lots of overlap with PC because Game Pass is also on PC and PC is also traditionally a shooter platform. Um, Sony has doubled and tripled down on their exclusives, and that's really what they're going with. And there's, like Selden said, they're RPGs, they're playable movies or stories, they're third person I mean, third person semi action, semi shooters, but I'm thinking like the Uncharted games. Like I don't even know what you,
Yeah,
they're like action shooters. I don't even know what
there's
you. Yeah.
on the rail shooters
Yeah.
almost.
So yeah, I don't know. They're two different things. I still need both, but not everybody does.
Yeah.
But good question, and you really made us walk a fine line, Altius. So well done. If any of you have questions like these fine folks, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And on that, why don't we hop on over into what we're playing? Selden, what have you been playing this week?
Uh, I'm living on Long Island, so we lost power for about 5 days out of the week, so I didn't get a lot of gaming in. But I
Good,
did get a little bit
good.
of gaming in before the power went out. Played a lot of bit. Grounded. Loving that game still.
I
It's
thought
just
you were saying you had some problems with it because it was like early access or beta, or you're running into issues, or
there was a couple things that I mean they've patched it. They released a 1.1.1 patch this week, so they definitely fixed some of the bugs and things like that are going on.
all right.
And they're promising more content drop this month later on. So they're following, they're going to hopefully introduce maybe some more creatures, possibly, there's lots of room where they can go with like maybe fish or birds or squirrels or, even other insects and things like that. Other areas are still roped off that you can't get to. So maybe they'll release some of those areas and things like that. So, I mean,
Nice. I
and
still haven't
maybe
got
some more
around to playing
construction
it,
stuff.
so.
So
It, how would you describe the game category-wise then? Is it like Ark, which is what my original suspicion was, or now that you've played more?
it's it's definitely in the survival game genre, but I
Okay.
still don't see it as an archetype where you because Ark is really based around the creatures that you tame and
Tame and
control
breed. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
and then you can use those creatures and things like that. Grounded isn't at that point yet. Maybe it's going to take that path. Maybe like if
Mm.
they introduce squirrels or something like that, that you'll be able to ride a squirrel or something like that. Who knows?
Yeah, yeah.
But it's definitely survival and exploration, open world type of game. So
All right, nice.
other than that, Xbox Live Gold weekend, they had Rocket Arena. I know we talked about it a couple weeks ago. It's the
Mm-hmm.
3v3 arena style Super Mario Smash Brother
Mm-hmm.
game. Not a big fan of it. Everything I watched in the streams and I experienced it firsthand, it doesn't seem balanced. The weapons that you're using don't seem balanced to the gameplay that comes from them. You're expecting these big booms to have much more effect on the
Mm-hmm.
characters that you're hitting. They just don't. It feels like you're hitting them with cotton balls.
Well,
So
that's
it's a
that.
weird game.
That
So
happens a lot though early on in these games until weapons are balanced. Like you look at patches for like even look back at a game like Overwatch. Now that's one of the more complex things.
yeah,
So many different classes, so many different abilities, all different. And all they did for the first 6 months, every little patch was like tweaking game balance, tweaking weapons, tweaking this, tweaking that. And and it's part of when you put out a new game, especially something that's not simple, like that weapon balancing is a critical item that has to happen.
yeah.
So,
Yeah, like game movement, like your character moving around the world feels good. They did a good job on, I think, with the gravity that they had because you have to have different effects in different worlds that you're playing on. I think they did a good job with that. It's just the weapons just seem really, they feel like you're shooting Nerf guns and they just
yeah.
don't have what it needs. And also, I mean, the game's listed, I think, for like $30, and this Xbox Gold Live Weekend, you can get it for like $5.99. So I mean, it should have been free to play right off the bat with a
Probably,
season
yeah.
pass. So I don't know what the future holds for this game. It doesn't look good from my opinions, but we'll see.
Fair
And
enough.
then I just played my regular mobile games, the Empires and Puzzles and Clash Royale. So that's about it. What about you?
All right. Well, I played a little Master Chief Collection until there were issues with that, like always. Although hopefully I think we have those figured out this week. Maybe it may have been a misconfigured DMZ on Mr. GBMS's router, so we'll see if that takes care of things this week. Played a bunch of Halo 5, some SWAT, some of this weird King of the Hill mode where that came. I guess it was originally a community King of the Hill mode that was written by the community where the hill doesn't just jump from here to here to here to here to here, but instead the hill slowly drifts through the map, and
I re- I remember that
yeah,
game
yeah,
type. Yeah, that was a
yeah,
fun game type.
yeah.
Yeah, it
That's
was
a
definitely interesting.
yeah. So that was kind of cool. We played a bunch of games of that, but mostly SWAT, and so
Yeah, sorry I missed that, man. You
yeah,
sent me
you
the
had no
message. You guys are going
power.
live, and I'm like, damn it, I don't got power.
No power's
So
a pretty good excuse, Selden. So yeah, yeah. But we'll be playing this week, and played a
yeah,
little.
I started to load up because I still had my 4G. I was actually looking at doing it through XCloud and see if they had multiplayer through the Halo 5 on that,
Mm,
but
mm.
I almost did it, but I was like, man, I'll just be so disappointed if I start playing it. It's going to be a disaster, I think.
Oh,
But
so like
I should have
lag and
probably,
everything else.
yeah,
Yeah, it would have been a fun thing to try, though. Yeah,
oh yeah,
yeah, yeah. Yeah. Other than that, played a little bit of Jackbox games, and then I did my usual phoning it in of Harry Potter, and I think there was an event or there was a weekend or something. I know I did all the things, and then Pokemon Go. I just every day I catch one mon, and that's it. So,
I have to
uh,
admit that I was driving today out to get my son from camp, and I'm sitting here. I'm like, oh, there's a portal there. Oh, there's a Pokestop there, man. I could get. I'm like, wait, I don't even have it installed. Oh, this is nice. I don't have to pull
uh,
off the side of the road anymore.
no, 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 no. Yeah, they've really changed that game up. They've pandemicized it as well. Not as well as Wizards Unite did, but Like they've done at least a decent job. They're still trying more on the monetization front than other than like Wizards Unite. You don't have to pay anything, and you can be a god in that game. So, but yeah, no,
Are you gonna get their next one, Carsoni, when it
no,
or?
no. I'm
I
done
think
with
that's
these.
going to be a European type of game. I don't
Yeah,
think that's going to make it well in America.
and they already fucked themselves as it is. Like they picked the same weekend for the Community Day weekends for both Wizards Unite and Pokemon Go. So not only did you make two games that you have to pick one or the other to play, but then you pick their special weekend to be on the same special weekend. Like no one can do that. So yeah, you're really bifurcating your audience at that point, and eventually trifurcating it. So fuck them. That's what I say.
Just delete it.
I can't. It's
It's an addiction.
Yeah, it is. Add it to the list, Selden. Add it to the list. Jeez. All right, and then when I'm bored and sitting on the couch, I play Toon Blast, and that's it. Oh, and it's fucking Shark Week, motherfucker. So I'm watching lots of fucking sharks. So yeah, don't forget it's Shark Week, ladies and gentlemen. Go there, watch it. It's on Discovery Channel. It's not like that fake National Geo like Shark World or whatever they did, where they did like 2.5 months of shark shit. Their shit, 2.5 months of their shit doesn't add up to Mike Tyson fighting a shark last night. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So
What?
I'm not even getting into it. It's just whatever. But yeah, it's pretty sick. So yeah, go watch your Shark Week. Okay. And on that, why don't we hop on over into the new releases? The only major new release out this week, which major I'm putting in quotes and parentheses and italics and underline and maybe in a yellow font, is Hyperscape. And this is out for the Xbox One, the PS4, and the PC. And this is that trashy one from that trashy studio that has all kinds of problems. It's the free-to-play battle royale from Ubisoft, who were plagued with sexual conduct comments and a culture of disrespect and badness. So
Yeah, I played this game during the beta, and it made its rounds amongst the streamers and stuff like that too, but then it died super quick. In my opinion, nobody's going back to it, so I just don't see it. Had some great concepts, but it was just they had once again weapon balancing issues. They tried to make some changes and they overpowered some and underpowered others, and it just kind of ruined the game. So
yeah,
it was a great concept. I liked it. It felt like it could be good, but it's just I don't think it's the right time for a game like that. So
yeah, we're still not Ubisoft fans at the moment. Like I know we've had a good relationship with Ubisoft in the past, but the way they've been handling this scandal has not been so good. Like Tiff's favorite mobile game to play, she'd been playing the shit out of Mighty Quest for Epic Loot, and then once all this happened, boom, uninstalled, done.
yeah.
So yeah, I just can't support Ubisoft until, and I always think like, oh okay, they finally did it. This guy left, and then even this week they fired another person. So until they clean house, I can't with good conscience support them. I'd like to see a culture that's not full of misogyny and abuse and everything else, and so we'll see what happens there. But yeah, it's a little disappointing. So, but someday Ubisoft, you'll do right, and I'll be back.
Someday.
And that's what they're waiting for. They're like, is Derek back? Nah, fuck, fire someone else. Yeah. No. All right. Well, in that, Selden, why don't we hop on over into gaming news? First story. Halo 3 is getting new guns and skins 13 years after launch. Now is there a weirder story title for a story than that?
It was a great game. I just didn't realize that you could actually make new guns. But you know what? I mean, it's making a resurgence through Master Chief Collection, and if they're going to be selling skins or getting people to play, so get psyched for the upcoming Halo game. I think it's a great move to just revamp and add a little bit of spice back to something that was old. So
Yeah, part of it is just taking stuff from ODST and bringing it in, but there's also some other stuff. They're reskinning things. Like I think it's super cool. Like, and where these games now are getting this huge resurgence on PC, where people are playing these things for the first time, uh, giving the PC players that are playing MCC some new content makes it feel more PC-ish to them because they're like, oh yeah, on PC people add shit all the time. And sure, no one's adding content to like a 13-year-old game, but in this case, for them, it's a 8-month-old game. So,
but I mean, also you look at, I mean, it's now that that's on PC. It's like, is it really a reskin, or did they just update the graphics to be more 4K ish?
yeah, that's true too.
So
Yeah,
you can call it reskin, I guess, at that point. But is it really just updating the graphics?
to make sure.
But the new guns,
yeah.
new guns is something that's definitely interesting. So
yeah, big fan, big fan.
all right, I'll jump on the next one.
All right.
I thought this was going to be the lead story, but I guess we went with Halo 3, but I'm going to go with it. Evidence for cheaper next-gen Xbox continue to grow with new leak. Over the last 24, 48 hours, we've seen quite a few leaks coming about the Xbox Series S. Started off with a controller that somebody bought on a third-place marketplace.
Like Facebook Market or something.
Yes,
or,
something crazy like that. But it was a white controller that had the Xbox Share button on it, and once you flip the box over, it says Xbox compatible with Xbox Series X/S.
Yeah.
So it's definitely and then they confirmed it with a couple other people saying this really looks like it's legitimate, and then starting today, I think they even started leaking out more consoles, pictures of the console itself, like the marketing pictures where the controller is leaned up against the box, and it looks really nice. It's a tight looking box, so
I just don't know how these controllers got in the wild so quickly.
I know.
Like it's one thing for a retailer to accidentally like leak the marketing images they were given for their retail listings, but for the actual controller to show up and someone sell it like on Letgo or Facebook Marketplace or any of these bullshit things, like how does that happen?
See, this is where the conspiracy theory is.
Oh, you think it's all on purpose? Microsoft did this. Yeah.
I think it's a viral marketing campaign where they purposely released it out there like that just to put the little feelers out there, and if it made waves, and because there's already been rumors that it's this month, that it's going to be that they're going to make the announcement for it. So I think it's a great lead up to that. It gives it a couple weeks to create the buzz, have people like, no, that's not real. Oh no, that is real. You know, and that story is flying like mad. I mean, it's getting great publicists. You know, it's a publicist's dream that how much waves this is making. So
and I saw that the same back of that controller box also said it works with the current Xbox Ones as well as pairable with iPhone and Android for current or future xCloud support. So why are you laughing there, Selden?
Because the other story, I don't know if you had.
It's a non-story, so we can just talk about it right now. Then yes, go ahead, Selden.
It was a big news that came out this week that Microsoft and Apple are apparently not in agreement with letting xCloud come to the Apple iOS platform. Apple's claiming that it's because they want to individually review every piece of material, every type of game that comes through their system and that's playable on their phones and tablets. And Microsoft is just trying to sell the app.
Yeah, that's where it really is at. Because as soon as you give someone the ability on an Apple device to buy content, then Apple gets their slice. That's the deal.
And I think Microsoft is willing to pay something for that, but I don't think that I think that Apple's looking at it like, we don't want to release 100 games to our players that they're not going to buy anything else because they got 100 games through this service.
No.
But it's funny that they say that, but like I think I pointed out in one of our chats is that the xCloud service is just like a Netflix. It's just like a Hulu. I mean, Apple's not individually reviewing all the content that's coming out of those shows and TVs and movie shows that are coming out on that. No. So I think it's kind of it's a hypocrisy that they're claiming that they can't review the content of it. So I think it's coming down to the almighty dollar that Apple's afraid they're going to lose too much money by letting that onto the system. So
I don't think that we're not going to see it come to the iPhone devices. Like it's coming. These are your premier handsets. They're used by the premier portion of the population. Most Xbox people have an iPhone. Uh, in case you're not watching the video version, this is all to just rub this into Selden because he's an Android yet, just to let you know. For those of you new to the show that are just catching us on Facebook Gaming and then discovered the podcast or whatever. But uh, yeah, the iPhone's the premier device in the market, and obviously it's going to come to that. And whatever deal Microsoft has to make with Apple, they're going to do it. So, yeah.
time will tell.
The old classic time will tell. That's like I don't have a better answer right now. So time will tell, or we'll wait and see, or
I think somebody's got to try to figure out some way to get an app to let you get through that and let you guys play your Xbox on your phone.
Yeah, it's gonna happen. They're gonna give us the real app, so don't worry, Selden. But yeah, it is exciting though to see that this S is real because that's the thing that we've been waiting for, which is to make sure this is going to happen, to make sure that we're going to have this super low end SKU that's like, I still believe this is the 1080p only SKU. That's what I believe the S is. I believe that this may or may not come with a disk drive. I know that there's going to be two SKUs at the high end. Well, at least I feel there will be for the X, one with the drive and one without. And
I have a feeling the S is going to be a digital only. I don't see them slapping a drive in there if they want to keep that price low. And but I agree with you. I definitely think it's 1080p. I don't think it's going to be the 4K.
Yep.
But it's just I'm looking forward to this announcement, man. I think this is going to be great.
Oh, I can't wait. I can't wait. So, all right. Next story. Halo Infinite Monster energy drinks have begun to appear in the wild, offering double XP. So, this is a good sign because you know that when the double XP gods are out, shit's coming soon. And you know what? I was off caffeine for a long time, and then caffeine and Monster Energy are my friends if it means double XP in Halo Infinite. It's also cool to see that despite the pandemic, all of these cogs, because this has to do with Microsoft, this has to do with Monster Energy, this has to do with printing companies and this, and be able to print unique codes and everything else. So it goes to show that shit's still happening in the background, and we know it is because lots of us go to work every day without going to work. But it just gives you a little bit of, it makes it feel like things are more normal when you have some special thing that's going to happen in a video game happening in the middle of a pandemic.
Yeah, the Taco Bell announcement's got to be around the corner here soon.
Yes,
because Taco Bell always has something.
Giving away an Xbox Series X every minute for every $5 burrito box you buy or whatever. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yep.
But yeah, definitely building up on the excitement. The hype train is definitely in full swing. So.
Yep. No, I wasn't sure if we were going to have that this year because of the pandemic, and this is kind of the first signs that's, it's not business as usual, but it's business as usual. It's like let's get people pumped, let's do this, and and like you said, Microsoft's been doing that fucking Xbox a minute every console release since the 360. So I'm expecting an X every minute at some point here. Yeah.
Mountain Dew's got to be joining soon, I'm sure.
Yes, yeah.
Like I haven't had a Monster in probably since the pandemic began because I don't go out, and the few times I've run into like a 7-Eleven to get milk, it's like mask on, jump in, get out as fast as possible. Yeah. But I'm gonna be looking for these cans. I just don't want to go in 7-Eleven to buy.
See, I hadn't had a Monster in 6 years, and then once the pandemic started, I started adding Monster to my grocery list to make sure I could have one in the morning because I don't go to Starbucks anymore. So now I substituted a cold Monster every morning as my morning drink, and so I'm just waiting for my Peapod shipment that comes in that instead of being in the normal monster box has my double XP, and I'm just gonna rocket it. It's gonna be, yep.
I hope they put it in the white can because that white can's my favorite.
Oh, the white can's gross.
Ah.
I like the blue low carb can. Yes.
Uh, all right. Anyways, let's move on.
Yes. All right. Next
Uh,
story.
Next story. Teenager spends nearly $20,000 in Twitch donations using mother's debit card. Apparently, this kid got her debit card on his computer and was able to charge up almost $20,000 through Twitch donations within a couple months. It ended up that she didn't even realize it. I sure as hell wouldn't notice if $20,000 disappeared out of my debit card, but apparently she didn't. And found that the son was donating to various esports and different streamers and things like that. Like $20,000 though. But apparently she was able to get most of it back, if not all of it back, through going through the proper channels and contacting the, I guess, the .esports, which handles the no, not .esports, whoever handles the donations. But I mean, this seems like a repeating story that we hear once every couple of years, where it's like, it was Apple before. I think Microsoft did something.
This is an exceptional amount, and
I know
the difference on this one is this was a much tougher recovery because this came from a debit card and not a credit card. Yeah. So credit cards have protections. A debit card, they're actually taking cash money from your bank account. So if there's no money there, the transaction fails. If there's money there, the transaction goes through. So somehow she didn't look during this entire time period and notice that 20 grand of her liquid capital had disappeared from her bank account, that's one problem.
Definitely scary.
Yes, yeah. The second problem is, what the fuck? Why does this kid? Why do you even give your kid your shit? Like, if our kids want something, and like for example on Xbox, and they want to buy something, and they're taking out of their allowance or whatever, I'll sign in as I'll add my payment method as me. I'll sign in as them, add my payment method, buy the thing, and then delete my payment method. That way, there's no question. No one, I accidentally did this, or because there's no fucking accidentally. If someone's gonna fuck you, they're gonna fuck you, whether they're your kid or not. They're gonna like. Right. You don't want your payment to be their default payment type. So.
Yeah, see, that's what I have. I set up through the Xbox Family app that I actually can use just my main account, and then I move the money to their account instantly. So.
Okay, yeah, that's a nice solution too. Yeah, and you get all the, at least on Xbox, you have purchase approval, which is another way to deal with that. But yeah, to spend $20,000 in Twitch donations on a debit card is fucking nuts.
I would really like to see the breakdown of who he donated to. Like, was it a bunch of titty streamers, or was it
that would be my guess, is that he's buying influence, if you will. Yeah. So yeah.
Like, because you start looking at the different tiers, and like some of these people have like 3 different tiers, and it breaks down on what you can get and like what access you have, and you get a signed photo, and
I would have thought this story would have made more sense if it was like donating to Patreon or OnlyFans.
Yeah.
But yes, but I guess Twitch is the same thing. So.
Yeah. But I mean, he even hit up. It looks like he hit up the Falcons quarterback Kurt Benkert. As donations. I'm like, this is the guy that probably needs donations the least.
Yes, yeah.
But hey, yeah.
It's like when you watch Ninja, and Ninja's getting like 100, 200, 500. He doesn't need any of that fucking shit. You don't need to give him any money. Just watch for free. He's already got it from all the subs and from all the sponsorships and everything else, but people still throw money at the guy. So
I really think the most what the fuck about this story is that her form of punishment, it lists the son is now limited to an hour of gaming per day and must now also pursue activities outside with his family. What the fuck are you doing? You should have been doing this anyways. Limiting your kid and making him do stuff with you.
That's what I say, Selden.
That was an absentee parent, apparently. So.
Yep.
But I'm not here to judge parents.
No, yes you are. But okay.
Yes, I am.
All right, next story. Take-Two's next-gen $70 price will be decided on a game-by-game basis. So this is tagging up on a story we talked about last week, where Take-Two was going to be charging $70 per game this generation because they could. And there are good reasons why this should be a thing. Like games, the cost of game development has gone up, and the price of games has not changed since I graduated college. So, uh, yeah, there's reasons why this should be a thing, but there was also backlash from the industry, and then Take Two kind of took this like sidestep, and they're like, let it be game by game, which
I
is
love to see him step back on that too. So I
yeah.
mean, I want to see the price of games go up because I think that some of the games definitely deserve to be a little bit more and what they're charging to make sure that they recoup and pay their people right for, especially when the overtime crunches and things like
Yeah.
that. So.
And that's what generated in-app purchases and loot boxes and all this other stuff. All this stuff came from the fact that we weren't paying them for what the game was worth. And if we had paid what the game was worth, then they wouldn't need to generate all this side income to make up for what they're losing. You know what I'm saying? It's oh, I'm frozen in the stream, huh?
That's what I was typing you a message that you're frozen on the
Yeah, I
stream.
am
Sorry about
so
that.
I'm frozen the weirdest looking way in the stream too. Yeah.
Oh, while you try to reset your camera, I'll go on with the next story. How's that sound?
All right, next story.
And then Nintendo Switch has crossed 60 million lifetime sales. The Nintendo Switch has sold over 60 million units worldwide, according to the latest figures from Nintendo. More specifically, the hybrid console has sold 61.44 million units to date. That figure includes sales of handheld-only Switch Lites and the original console. I think that's phenomenal. This console really has. I mean, it's just. I remember when we first started hearing about this, I was like, no, nobody's going to want to buy this. Nobody's going to want to grab their game off the TV, play it again, and walk around. Nobody's going to be playing games on the subway with it. But, this game has become such a cornerstone for what Nintendo is right now. They definitely knocked it out of the park. I mean, I know we talked before years ago that, they go through cycles where, they have a really good console, then they're down for a couple, they have a really good console. This is definitely their their uptick console.
I know. Now you're laughing because I'm blue over here, right? Yeah. I can see you. Yeah.
So it's phenomenal that they're doing such a great job. And it's only going to keep selling, especially if they sell hybrids of this coming up. If they sell an extra large or an extra mini or something like that. I think that you're going to keep seeing these units flying off the shelf. So
yeah, everybody loves the Switch is killer sales. They got now with the two SKUs and literally it was the number one hardest to find item during the pandemic. So yeah.
They could easily sell another 20 million units if they let Xbox xCloud come to
it. Nice. Yeah. They could. So, all right. Let's see how many we got. Oh, we got one more story. No, two more. All right. Next story. I'll take the controversial one. Final Fantasy VII Remake surpasses 5 million digital sales and shipments. You know what I think about this, Selden?
People are dumb for buying this.
I'm even going to take a more controversial approach.
Oh, okay.
I don't like the Final Fantasy games at all. I think the guy's hair is stupid. I think they all have stupid names. I don't understand whether this takes place in the future, the past, or in some fucking bizarre, like, semi-medieval but not medieval universe. Like, I don't understand these games. Cloud? Psst, what kind of name is that? That's dumb. Yeah, I don't like Final Fantasy games. My name is Derek Nolan. I'm a gamer. I do not like Final Fantasy. Yep.
I've played a couple of them. I don't enjoy them thoroughly. I don't like the whole game type. Personally, it's a PlayStation gamer's game. So,
oh, now is that an insult or is that just you saying?
No,
what you're saying?
it's just what I see a lot more. You don't see the sales heavily on the Final Fantasy series on the Xbox as you see them on the PlayStation.
Yeah,
I mean, it's I'm not saying it's a Japanese import, really. I mean, it's aimed at a lot of more Japanese gamers than American type gamers. So, I mean, it's a phenomenal series. It's selling like crazy. Obviously, even a remake is selling 5 million sales. So
they even have a movie. Yeah.
And I did my research on the NCAA college football. The last one was the 2014. Mm-hmm. iteration of it, and it sold 1.5 million. So, I mean, 5 million on a remake crushes my theory is that it was a good game.
Yeah,
So,
see? All right. Well, now we've agreed that they're both shitty. So, yes, yeah. I think that's what we came out. That was our takeaway?
no.
Yeah, I just have no interest in these games at all.
Yeah.
And like, it's impressive that you sell 5 million of a remake, but I'd be more curious to see how many people buy the Kingdoms of Amalur Reckoning remake that's coming out. So I don't know.
I don't know. I mean, good for you, whoever plays it, but I don't think you're finding the right audience here talking about it.
No, definitely not. All right, last story.
People are still spending record amounts on gaming in the U.S. this year. I actually didn't read this article because I thought you were going to grab it, but I'll go ahead and blast through it a little bit.
Okay.
If it wasn't already obviously, coronavirus has kept us all inside and playing games. The industry analysts at the NPD Group have more evidence of the fact that this is true. The reliable market tracking firm says that the people spent more on video games in the U.S. in the second quarter than ever before. Looks like that we have spent $11.6 billion.
Oh my god.
Which marks a 30% year-over-year increase and 7% bump over the prior quarter.
Right,
when spending was hit a then record of 10.9
billion. So that's
billion.
We talked about that at the beginning of this, and I think we had a story. I'm not sure if you were on that week or not, but where we said this is up because of the quarantine. Is this going to can we continue to go up, or is it going to drop back down? And Hit was like, no, people have no jobs. They're going to save money and this and that. No, obviously not the case. No.
Everybody's got credit cards, and it's easy to buy games online now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah.
Man, that's a lot of money. Hollywood has got to be scared shitless because of that.
Yeah, especially where Hollywood, they have their own problems right now where nobody can figure out movie distribution. Everybody wants Tenet to come out, but Chris Nolan's like, it has to be in theaters. Theaters are the only way that people can really experience a movie. And he delays and delays and delays, and then and people, even if theaters are open, I don't want to go to a theater. I'm not going to go to a theater. Like, that seems like suicide to me. And then you have, like, on the flip side, you have Disney feeling out how to work this thing with Mulan. And they're like, well, if you have Disney Plus, it's $30. And I saw people complaining online, and I was like, well, let's look at it this way. It's like a high budget first run movie, and you can watch it with your family. It's not really $30. If you have 5 people, it's $6 each. If you have 2 people, it's $15 each. You would pay more for that in the theater. And right now in your house, you probably have, assuming you have some decent TV, you have a better viewing experience where you don't have kids yelling and screaming, sticky floors, people throwing stuff, and you're also, your risk of dying in your house is probably pretty low. So it seems like win-win all around. I have no problem paying this $30 for Milan. So, but I agree with you, Sheldon, that theater, like, movie companies are probably shitting their pants because this is the time they've had the most competition ever with games, because they're all postponing and pushing off releases because they don't want to miss out on this cha-ching paycheck that they're supposed to get from the theaters. And I'm not sure that cha-ching paycheck is ever coming back.
And yeah, like, even after, if the pandemic and when the pandemic releases, it's going to take a while because they can't film shit right now. They can't be in the same space as each other. I mean, I'm sure there's some companies out there working, doing green screen and, separation acting and stuff like that. But I just, I got buddies in the city that are actors, and they haven't been able to put a play on. I'm like, they're struggling. So it's a weird world for them right now. Like, even New York City, they tried opening outdoor theaters where, like, everybody's got their own little 6x6 roped off area with lawn chairs and, umbrellas, and they have a big screen at the end. And it's, but I don't see a lot of people going to them. I'm sure they are in New York City, but, like, they try to do drive-in movie theaters around here, just, like, put them up in parking lots. The attendance of those started off, like, the first night, it was like, the parking lot was filled, everybody was in the car. I saw a picture from the last one that they did like a Friday or two ago. There was like 12 cars in the lot.
Well, the problem with those too is that none of those are like first run movies. They're all like, you look back and it's all like, oh man,
It's
And
like,
the flip movie is like, and Goonies, and you're like, well, those are both great movies, but I've seen each of them maybe 100 times. So like, uh,
yeah.
yeah,
But
it's
man, just I love the video game industry being able to pull these numbers in, and
yeah,
you
that's
know, it's a great
fucking
time for gaming.
impressive.
So
Yeah. Oh yeah. So we'll see what happens going forward, and especially during this console generation here, once we have numbers and dates and things go on sale, I think that the third quarter and possibly the fourth quarter are going to be the biggest quarters ever. So,
well, fourth quarter you're going to have two new consoles hitting the marketplace, and
yeah,
all those new sales coming from those. So
yeah,
it's
at
going to be
least three
crazy.
coming to this house. So, yeah, at least.
Mhm.
I careful to say at least. So, yeah. All right. Well, I guess that wraps up gaming news. So if any of you have awesome stories like these, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And you can also comment on this episode's thread in the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors. If we had sponsors, they'd be now, but we don't, so they're not. If you'd like to sponsor us, give us a call, 773-527-2961, or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You tell us what you're selling, we'll tell you you pay us, we'll sell it, you pay us, boom, done. That was my attempt at a Jackbox X-esque commercial there, Selden, in case you couldn't tell. So.
Ah, yes, yes.
Question 3. Yes. Uh, Twitter us up. You can find everything Toll Player at twitter.com/tool to play, everything podcast at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the internet, got everything that's holding at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
And I'm at twitter.com/Selden007.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tool to play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
And I'm at facebook.com/Selden007 again.
We have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/tool to play. That's where we do all of our archive video content, episodes of this show, Hits Quick Hits, Selden's other show, Tiff's immature interviews, Thick and Thin with LB and Duty featuring I6 Hitman. All of our archive video content ends up on YouTube. So if you go to youtube.com/tool to play and subscribe, you'll be able to find every bit of video content Tool to Play has ever put out. So just go there, subscribe, and check it out. Please rate and review the podcast in iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews, so search up Still Got Game. Give us 5 stars. If you got an extra 5 seconds, write a little something nice like D Smooth, love those mini man bangs. Or Selden, love that top. Yep, whatever you want to say.
Chrono.
Yeah, but just write a little something nice. If you get an extra 5 seconds, it would help us out. Seriously.
And if you're watching this on Facebook, go ahead and share this with your select friends and get that out there. And, you can even put some kind words there for us or draw some people over to the Facebook page for us.
That's true. There should be a share button somewhere here. I'm looking at the video that I'm viewing from Facebook, but actually, I actually don't see a share button. It's somewhere, though. It's Facebook. They give you the way to share shit. So go there and share this shit to your friends and be like, hey, check this shit out. This is what I did on my Monday night, and I'm proud of it and not embarrassed. And and then your friends will too. So also, we have a Discord channel. It's at tooltoplay.com/SGG Discord. That's tooltoplay.com/SGG Discord. That's S as in still, G as in got, G as in game, all lowercase. If you go there, you'll be able to join our Discord. You'll talk to Selden all day. Sometimes you'll talk to Yant. Sometimes you'll talk to Tiff. Every once in a while, I'll show up and hit there fairly often as well. So you can talk to all of us all the time. And it's a good time. So tooltoplay.com/SGG Discord. Join the Discord. Every once in a while, we have a special Discord members-only voice chat where we can all talk like a big phone call. We do those usually once a month, and you can definitely come in and join us on one of those calls. And yeah, it's special. It's like a top tier service. So toolplay.com/SGG Discord. I don't think we pimp it enough, and not a lot of people know the benefits of going there. But that's the primary benefit, is that you get like a personal interaction with all of us on a voice call, really. So go there and join the Discord, and we look forward to talking to you during our next monthly meetup, fan meetup. So
And if you ever miss one of our hosts that don't make the show, they're always on there. Leave a comment and they'll respond to you.
Yep, exactly. And I guess before we wrap up, Selden, I want to remind them they can join us each and every Monday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, at facebook.com/Tool to Play. And on that, why don't we wrap this episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Chris Selden, 007 Selden.
5 minus 3. It's the two of us, Selden.
2 and 2.
Peace out.